morning. Good morning. We're bringing up an old story. It's old to some people, and to others, the Jeffrey Epstein debacle is relatively new. There's a lot of people right now finding out about Jeffrey Epstein. In 2018, he killed himself in prison. Was the, I don't know the exact date, about 2018, but the whole Epstein thing has been going on for years. It's been going on since 2017, when Jeffrey Epstein was when we first found out what the hell was going on with these pedophiles. But the real story is today, now, because of the latest document dump, if you will, Trump found it necessary to release these documents, and probably a good thing. Everybody gets to see what's in those documents. And the latest on the Epstein, documents. I don't run around trying to read all of them, but I think that enough smart people have looked at the types of conversations, for example, that Epstein was having with other adult men about children and torturing children and finding it funny, finding humor in this very, very dark kind of behavior. You're torturing children, right? So that's where we're at now. Right? A while ago, we were at 17-year-old girls hanging out by poolside. This is different. This is now, you're talking about, very, very ugly stuff. But who is this guy in the picture, right? We want to find out more about Epstein. Everybody seems to be diving in. But Epstein, to refresh your memory, died in a prison cell. Let me make sure everybody's... how you doing, everybody? How's everybody in the chat? Is anybody here? Give me a thumbs up if you're here, because this is going to be a good show. You're going to enjoy this. So this guy, right? His name is Nicholas. Hey, Nicholas Tantangalangio, right? We'll get what's his fucking name? What's this guy's name? Nicholas, what is this guy? Nicholas Tartaglione. Nicholas Tartaglione. Remember this guy for a second. Right? So Jeffrey Epstein was once upon a time convicted of a sex crime in like 2003. And everybody knew his thing. Everybody knew his problem, his defect, and they didn't take enough distance from him. Right? And then what happened is that he went on to allegedly rape a lot of young girls. Right? But who killed him? Right? He dies in a prison cell, in MCU prison in New York City. He died there by, quote, hanged self. Jeffrey Epstein died in MCU holding jail next to the Southern District of New York fucking court. And he died in there, right? He died by allegedly hanging self. Now, do we believe that? This was his roommate. That's why I wanted to point it out. Nicholas Tartaglione is a 4-time convicted killer. This guy chokes people and kills people and rips their heads off and buries them in the backyard. He was an ex-cop. And this was the guy that was placed in Epstein's holding cell. Now, we're going to try to figure out who killed him. Now, it seems obvious that everybody would say, well, Bill Clinton had him killed. Great. If that's true, great. If it was Trump, no, fuck you. It's not the Democrats. Trump had him killed. Great. If any of those things are true, put that aside for 1 second. Who did the killing? That's what we want to know. Who actually... Because once you identify who killed him, right, he didn't hang himself in no jail. That seems to be pretty clear based on the evidence. This is beyond direct evidence of putting a 4-time convicted killer in the cell, in the same box with Jeffrey Epstein, one of the largest, the loudest fucking socialite in recent memory. So anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Marcus Conte. I have a website, and this is one of the longest running educational philosophical live streams in America. And you can watch a rerun. You're probably watching a rerun right now, but this is live. I do this live. I go live. This is some of the things I've been doing lately. And there's a movie, White Privilege by yours truly. Good movie. I bring you back to the COVID-19 morgue trucks and racism in New York City. Check it out, man. It's a good movie. I think this is going to be around a long time, White Privilege. It has the makings. This is Who Killed Garth Burton, not Who Killed Jeffrey Epstein, but Who Killed Garth Burton. Garth Burton was a friend of mine, and I made this movie in loving remembrance of him. And kindly watch it, and you're going to love it. And it's something beautiful. So check out some films if you have a chance. So Jeffrey Epstein, well, I'll take us back in time. I did a lot of talk about this, and I don't want to relitigate everything that was talked about. But here's my playlist of just Epstein's. And what's interesting is you notice it takes off 24 hours after Epstein got killed. All the videos that came after that about Epstein got fucking scrubbed. But there were others. I had other videos, and we talked about this. I just point that out, that there's a lot of... just go to my page and then put Epstein. You'll see. I was talking about who really killed Epstein. There he is. Well, that's now. But we covered it. I was there down at Epstein, trial and all, and... So let's listen to this for a second.
Illuminating the networks of affiliation associated with this latest Epstein file release. Just mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And it is just like, we can...
It's transcended to a new level because of the depth of information that we now have. Knowing that these guys they had some sort of weird fetish that nobody could really prove. There were just allegations of torture and such, and now they're even advancing it to possibilities that a lot of the victims, let's call them that, child victims in this case, may have been buried somewhere. Mind you that they are on an island. And, if they're going to dispose of someone, it's probably in the fucking ocean.
We can sit here and bitch and whine saying, oh, they didn't release that, and blah, blah, blah. This is redacted. All that's true. But still, the impact of that information, and we're still getting to the bottom of it.
It's completely changed most people's narrative of what happened. Like, we had this sort of vague understanding, but when you see in the email, like, clear evidence that they're talking about children.
In pretty obscene ways.
Right. This is adult men, prominent men. What happened to the mayor? Remember the governor of fucking New Mexico? What happened to that guy? That guy there was pictures of him at El Rancho and one of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, hanging out there.
Fine.
Where did he go?
So that was the thing that, like, even when I talked to Mike Benz about that, he was sort of incredulous about that. It's like, I don't think they would use children. It just doesn't make any sense if they get caught. But it just seems like
it seems like this. It seems like these are weird fucking people, like broken people that have this fantasy about torturing children, and one day they become a billionaire, and some guy, Epstein, offers them a Disneyland to their fetish, their thing that they could never imagine actually doing because of the severity of it. But somehow Epstein neutralizes it and makes it possible for a billionaire to come and do this sort of thing to a child, to a victim. that's what it is.
Yeah,
We were-
if Mike Benz was incredulous,
I know.
that's pretty big.
I just don't think we really knew until we saw those files come out.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, well, there's no denying it now.
I think we did know. Joe. We knew before that. That's what I want to talk about, which is the killing of Epstein. Right? That's very important, because if you find out who killed him and how he was killed, then you could start reeling in the same people, right? The killer. Right. Whoever gave the killer permission to do the killing, right, and kill the guy, killed Epstein. When you find that out, you will also find out who the Johns were. Follow that thinking? The Johns are the same people who killed Epstein, and that's the prominent socialites that have been already named, the former Prince of England. There's a lot of them.
Now, my position on it is completely shifted. I thought there's probably some really sick people that have an appetite for that, but I hadn't seen any real evidence for it until these files. And now I'm like, oh, this is demonic. This is clearly demonic.
Okay, so thank you for saying that.
I want to skip ahead. Because this dirt that was in those emails is pretty bad. They're talking about dressing up like a child was crying out for Jesus, and then one of these fuckers said, "Well, why don't you dress up like Jesus when you arrive?" Like really fucking twisted shit. Psychological torture of children. What is this guy talking about?
So it's about 24 hours after the Epstein alleged murder, death.
Proof that I was there. Here I am walking around in Brooklyn, hearing 24 hours after hearing that Epstein dies in jail, waiting his sentence. This is 2019, I think. Yeah.
Suicide, whatever we want to call it. Whatever we're calling it at this point, right? 24 hours later, still no official word.
Okay, we didn't know what happened to him, but that's what we later found out. What else was I talking about?
It's just gossip at this point. There's no real groundbreaking stuff, right?
I forgot what I was talking about. That's why I have to go back and look.
Right, let's see.
So we're at the jail. I'm at the MCC jail. This is where Epstein was still being held. In this video, there's only one video still on YouTube up about Epstein before he died. Before he died, they're all up. But after that, they started to scrub videos that contained anything that we're talking about right now.
There's evidence of today 20 correction officers in MCU right here
Right.
will be subpoenaed.
Right. So I'm talking about the jailhouse that Epstein died in. The 20 correction officers that all had something else to do or weren't paying attention when Epstein allegedly killed himself were all subpoenaed and dragged into court. Did we forget about that?
Have been subpoenaed by a grand jury, which is very interesting. 20 correction officers are now subpoenaed to tell the grand jury what they know.
Right, because of the incredible, overwhelming appearance of incompetence, that how could you possibly let this guy fucking die? How did that happen? If he's on suicide watch, they sit there and they hold your hand, and no one said that Epstein showed any signs of being despondent, like that's what happens during suicide. That people they're no longer paying attention to you. They're paying attention to some other dark fucking place. Despondence. He didn't show any signs of that at all, and he also complained. This is not a defense of Jeffrey Epstein. This is trying to find out who the fuck killed him, so that you know. So Epstein, even a week before that death, he told the correctional facility that he got fucking choked by this guy, Nicholas Tartaglione. Choked him, and and Epstein ended up with a choke mark on his neck, and the killer, the to be killer, said that, oh no, I was trying to help him get the noose off of his neck. He was doing it to himself. That's the kind of story. So the bottom line is, you got a muscle-bound fucking animal, right? And you put him in the cage with Jeffrey Epstein, right? A 4-time killer. This guy, you don't think he's a killer? Let's look at the MO on this guy, right? This is what he did. This is who they put. I just want you to know who they put Jeffrey Epstein in the cell with, right? Martin was one of the guys he killed. Was killed because Tartaglione believed Martin had stolen approximately $250,000 meant to purchase cocaine. Right? So they were drug dealers. They were involved in killing and drugs. Right? A cop. The guy was a cop, and this deal went bad, and he killed everybody. Listen to this. Tartaglione tortured Martin by restraining him and beating him for an hour. But when Martin did not provide the location of the missing money, Tartaglione strangled Martin to death with a zip tie. All right, he choked the guy, he strangled his last opponent with a zip tie and killed him. Urbano, Manuel, and Hector were killed, each with a single gunshot to the back of the head, execution style, because they witnessed Martin's murder and were in the wrong place at the wrong time. So this is a drug deal gone bad, a cop, and he wants his money, and he shoots the guy, or he gets the guy and says, give me my money, and then the guy won't give him his money, and he strangles him to death in front of 3 other guys and then executes them. So this is the guy that you put in the room with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, you'll say, well, where else are you going to put these hardened criminals? He's in a prison. He's in jail. No. There's places to put a fucking guy like that so he doesn't hurt anybody. You don't put him next to the highest profile fucking case on earth at the time, at that moment. So the 4 victims remained, because the witnesses, they witnessed his murder. Tartaglione buried all 4 victims in a mass grave on his remote property in Osterville, New York. The 4 victims remained in the ground until the FBI found them. So that's who this guy is. That's who Tartaglione is. Ex-cop and former prison cellmate of Jeffrey Epstein, sentenced to 4 years to life in prison. Now, this is recent. This is interesting, right? So Epstein dies in 2018, and in 2024, the killer finally comes to sentencing, his own sentencing. Right? So, and what happens? They hit him with four counts of murder, right? In 2024, right? There's a connection there. I'm just trying to put something together. Let me go back to it. Let him talk for a while.
Now, do police lie? Do police lie in stereo? There could be 100 cops. They'll all say the same thing, right? That's what they do. They lie, right? Is it just a formality?
I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm walking around over there. What else we got? Oh, yeah.
Trigger alert. Trigger alert. If you can't stand, if it's going to cost you throwing your screen out the window, watching Hillary Clinton, maybe you don't want to watch it. So there is a, don't throw your screen out the window. So here's Hillary Clinton, right? So this guy, Trevor Noah, the late night talk show guy, asks Hillary Clinton How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein? How did you?
Right. This was the joke. This was the joke on the town in 2018. Something that you would ask Hillary Clinton on late night, because people believe it. People believe power kills. Hillary Clinton was a very powerful diplomat. She was the Secretary of State. She was the First Lady. She was a sitting senator from New York. Hillary Clinton had power, and powerful people, by their actions, kill people. Sometimes by accident, sometimes by proxy. It just happens, you know.
How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein?
How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein?
Watch this. It's fascinating.
Hillary, I have to ask you a question that has been plaguing me for a while. How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein? Because you're not in power.
She's laughing. She loves it.
But you have all the power. I really need to understand how you do what you do. Because you seem to be behind everything nefarious, and yet you do not use it to become president.
See how it's laughed off? You know what I mean? It's like it's shrugged off when it's pointed at the very people that could create a situation where you have Nicholas Tartaglione in the cell with a guy who's ready to blow the whistle on every pedophile in the fucking higher echelons of society. He's about to do it. That's what he's going to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk. That's Jeffrey Epstein, the Jew from New York, the Brooklyn Jew. I'm going to talk. I'm going to tell everybody what happened and what all of you perverts were doing to children, and he's going to try to save himself. And that's when they put the guy fucking Tartaglione in the room with him, and we'll find out what happened to Nicholas Tartaglione. Is he in jail? The other theory is this: that Jeffrey Epstein himself is not dead. That Jeffrey Epstein had enough influence to buy himself out of the country. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Jeffrey Epstein Jeffrey Epstein retains his power by doing that. The only way to eliminate Jeffrey Epstein is to kill him. Even imprisoning him is not a good idea. So they decided to. Who are they? Is it Hillary?
What is the game plan?
Well, Trevor.
But honestly, though, what does it feel like being...
I saw Hillary Clinton just shrugging it off. She's shrugging it off. What's this girl talking about?
You have some people here who are going to do a demonstration. So
Pissed off?
This is at the Jeffrey Epstein trial. There were a bunch of kids hanging out.
I think some of them don't know what's going on. So it's been informative on all sides.
Right. Yeah. He got away with it. I mean, he's a convicted serial pedophile. He targets women, 13 to 16. And
yeah.
see, at that point, it was still like we didn't know it went as deep as little kids. Nobody knew that. It seems that that's how deep it went. There's no direct evidence of that other than the communications, the latest series of communications that people have dug up through their conversations. But there's no 6-year-old skeleton buried on the island that we know of so far. Do they need to go to Epstein Island and start looking for ditches and graves? Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And that's confirmed, right? Now, who gave him cover? That's what we want to find out, right?
That is the question. I mean, I'm sure
Who gave him cover? There's Conte asking the girl on the corner, who everybody knew it. Who gave Epstein cover to do all this?
web goes deep and wide.
Deep and wide.
Do you think we'll uncover anything today? I mean, what do you think will be revealed?
Well, I think this is just a preliminary. They'll try to they'll read off what they're convicting him, charging him with, and then they'll probably.
So Epstein is still alive at this point. They're outside. People are protesting and or voicing their opinions about this guy.
Up a bail hearing, and that's really it. But today we'll hear the unsealed indictment.
So we didn't even know the indictment at that point. What else we got here?
So in the New York Post is reporting Bill Clinton claims he knows nothing, quote, knows nothing about Jeffrey Epstein's alleged sex crimes.
All right, so that was, look at that. You remember Bill Clinton? He denied it.
About Jeffrey Epstein's.
What's the date? This is 2019, July 2019. Bill Clinton claims he knows nothing about Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes. So you're telling me Bill Clinton really didn't know that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in this way? That it was so. I don't know if it was. It seemed like it was done out in the open. That's what everybody believed. Most people believe, although there is no direct video footage of these events, people believe that it was done out in the open. You go to the island, and this is what's happening on the island, out in the open, if that's the case.
La 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 la. Marcus Conte report. All right, so
I'm talking about a suicide watch there. I want to get into this guy right here. So this is, ex-cop. This is the guy. He was sentenced to 4.5 years. If you want to find out what happened, this is where we got to look. He murdered all these people. I think I talked about that already. Martin was he killed these fucking people. And what else is this? So this is an interesting twist to the story. Now, we'll find out where he is. By the way, allegedly he is in the jail. I put him into the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Nicholas Tartaglione, and it leads us to Otwater Correctional Facility, United States Penitentiary in California. That's where the killer is the guy who killed all those people and was the roommate of Epstein. There is a minimum security wing at Otwater, and I would speculate that that's probably where he was. This is what the place looks like in California somewhere. This is what happens to you if you, I guess, do the right thing. You could live in a ugly fucking jail somewhere, and we'll put you in a box and torture you like at MCU. Those jails, by the way, the jail that Jeffrey Epstein died in, is a torture chamber. It has roaches running around and there's rats. It's cold. It's hot. It's dirty. It's crowded. It's noisy. There's nothing to eat. There's nothing to drink. It's torture. So you're in the torture chamber. Aside from something like, there's no outside. This is different. So he was, Tartaglione apparently was living here, or is living here right now. United States Penitentiary, Otwater, is a high-security federal prison. The institution also includes a minimum security satellite camp. It is opened, Otwater is located on the land formerly part of Castle Air Force Base. So it's built in the middle of nowhere. If you wanted to slip somebody in and out of this place, so it's a high security. It's not a maximum security. It's high security. What the fuck does that mean? Maximum security means it's like we're securing the inmates so that they don't get out. This seems more like it's secured so nobody gets in or nobody gets at them. And there's a minimum security satellite. Minimum? What does that mean? There's no fence? This guy killed 4 people, and shouldn't he have been in the worst of the worst kind of holding places? This guy's in California, 100 miles from San Francisco, on an Air Force base in minimum security. He's working out. He's got a gym. It's not freedom. Well, maybe it is. Maybe part of it is. So we're tracking the killer. That's what this is called. It's called tracking the killer. Ex-officer who shared cell with Jeffrey Epstein, convicted of quadruple murder. Why wait a second. Wait. This is what I want to read. Jeffrey Epstein. Here's an interesting spin from the actual guy himself, the killer himself says. Look at this. Epstein's cellmate claims Trump administration wanted pervert power broker dead. Now, who cares what the fucking, the guy's opinion? I guess we do care what the guy's opinion is. He's saying that Trump wanted him dead. How does the thing you got to ask yourself is, how does a deal like that happen? How does this guy know that if he kills Epstein, all he's got to do is, I'm here, right? I'm an ex-cop. I know how to strangle people. This is a skinny old Jewish guy. I'm going to choke him and he's going to be dead, and that's the end of it. And we'll just say he killed himself. I wasn't here, and out the back door. Right? And how does that deal happen? How does he know that all he's got to do is kill Epstein, and freedom, as best they can do, is waiting for him? Right? This ex-cop who executed 4 people for witnessing, or executing 3 people for witnessing the killing of a 4th. So Epstein prison cellmate claims to have evidence that Trump administration wanted the disgraced financier dead and left him unprotected, quote, on purpose, according to a document obtained by the Daily Beast. Now, we have that document. Where's the document? Yeah, so Nicholas, currently imprisoned at Otwater Penitentiary, submits this petition for pardon of my sentence imposed on June 2024. Right? So this is like fucking strange, right? I just want to get this out. It's one other part. Right? So prior to Epstein's death on August 2019, which officials ruled as a suicide, jail bosses decided that America's most high-profile prisoner should share a cell with an accused mass murderer for reasons that have never been explained. Tartaglione had a reputation for extreme violence and a self-confessed hatred of child sex offenders. So you pick your killer. You pick your killer. Now, the only part of this is that if Tartaglione is still alive, I'd like to. Nobody knows. Is he alive? They say he's alive. He's alive. He's in this jail. Has anybody seen this guy? I've physically seen him. He's releasing memos from prison. Tartaglione, all right, so he had this reputation, who Epstein told prison guards had tried to kill him 3 weeks before he was found dead. Epstein said, this guy tried to kill me. And they put the killer in his fucking cell again. Right? So, that he was deliberately moved into the same jail as Epstein and placed in the same cell. That's fucking nuts. In a 21-page petition obtained by the Daily Beast, Tartaglione says that he believes that the Trump administration wanted Epstein dead. Well, I don't know what that means, but if people don't like you, they didn't like Epstein. Epstein was a snitch, and he was a destructive force on children, and disgraceful, and every part of being around the guy was ugly, and so a lot of people, wanted him to go away, and then he did go away. But that's not the point. We know that he did go away. Can you force somebody to kill themselves? Can you put somebody in such a agonizing position that they somehow arrange the ability to kill themselves in a place where people professionally know how to not make you kill yourself, or or put you in a observing tent and make sure that you don't kill yourself? Yeah. Anyway, so here's Tartaglione. What else? So, is a spokesperson for the White House said, so anybody can write these things. The well-connected financer was found hanged in the cell of Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York while awaiting trial over child sex trafficking offenses. Here's his. So this guy, right? This guy who nobody really knows who he is, the 4-time killer who was in the cell with Jeffrey Epstein when Jeffrey Epstein died, allegedly killed himself, or was very, very close, and nobody saw nothing. No security, no nothing, just dead. This guy, I forgot what I was saying. What else we got here? So is this? So we went there. We saw where the guy lived. So anyway, man, Marcus Conte reporting. What a weird story, right? Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know what you believe. I don't know what you believe about this, but it is a national disgrace unfolding. More and more of this garbage comes out, and it also makes you wonder why courts withhold information. Right? Why are you withholding? If people would have known more about this, we would have pulled in more of the Johns. I'm telling you, that's where this guy leads. Right? You find Tartaglione, you find out, you make it clear that he was the killer, and then he leads you to the Johns. Right? Who put him up to it? Who gave him cover? That doesn't just happen by chance, that this guy accidentally lands in the cell with this in this particular case. Right? Everybody wanted to kill this guy. Everybody wanted him dead, and then in comes the assassin. So, Marcus Conte reporting. I'm still here.